Hello, this is Barbara Nicolato. I'm a member of Bello's design team. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this lovely calendar and note holder. Today's card is a very practical card that can even stand in as a gift. It's an easel card that has a calendar, and each month you can tear off a page. It holds a pen, and you can make this pencil holder or pen holder bigger or smaller to fit the pen that you're thinking of putting there. And then there is a little pad of Post-it notes. It'll close. You can put a sentiment inside, sign it, close it, and there it is. It stands up as an easel. So, I hope you'll work along with me and we can make this together. This is the beautiful 12 by 12 pad of craft papers from Craft Consortium, and it's called Bloom and Wild. It's 180 GSM cardstock, and it's got some really lovely prints on one side with contrasting color paper on the other side. Some of the prints are large, some of them are small. They're just gorgeous. So for the project, I've chosen this paper here with the smaller flowers. I'm going to be using this as a contrasting paper, and I'm going to be using this color, which is like a mango orange, because there is orange in here, as the heavy duty cardstock. And this is an 8.5 by 11 page. I'm also going to be using a scoreboard with a bone folder, art glitter glue. I'm going to be using, this is a set of stamps from Cardio. The fragrance remains on the hand that gives the flower. And this set is called Say It With Flowers. This is the one I'll be using today. To complete our project, you'll also need Post-it notes, a pen, calendar, and these I purchased on Etsy. There are so many different ones offered on Etsy, but this particular one measures 2¼ by 3 inches, and I have affixed tear tape, double stick tape to this to make this project. I'll be using VersaFine Clair ink in Nocturne to stamp the sentiment. And before I continue with showing you the papers, I'm posting right here all the measurements of the papers that I have cut. Please feel free to refer to this page or even stop the video so that you can make your cuts. I will be talking about scoring in a few minutes. So here is the 4¼ by 11 inch base 110-pound cardstock, and its color is called Mango Orange. I scored it at 2 3/4 and 5.5 inches, and then I burnished the score lines. My 4¼ by 5.5 inch paper will serve as the front of my easel card. The 2 3/4 by 3 1/2 inch piece will be the base of the calendar part. The gold metallic cardstock, 2 1/2 by 3 1/4 inches, will be the mat for the calendar, and the 3 parts will be layered together like so. If you don't have any metallic paper, that's okay. Just use cardstock. That will coordinate with your project. These are the decorative papers from my Bloom and Wild pad. These two are the same size and will be mounted on the front and the inside of the card. Turning these smaller ones over to the reverse side, the smaller piece, 1 1/2 by 4 inches, will be used to make the loop that will hold the pen. The last 2 pieces I'll use on the yellow-orange side. The 2 1/2 by 4 inch will be for the sentiment stamp. The 3 1/8 by 4 inch will be scored at the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to pull out the scoreboard and make a clean score down. Later, when I wrap it around the Post-it notepad, I'm going to make a fold that's about 5/16 inch over. I'm putting all that aside now to get my decorations made. I stamped the flower Lilium set, Lavinia 654, and the fairy Mia, Lavinia 284, on multifarious cardstock. And I used the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. Then I used the Uniball Signo glitter pens to color them. I used pink, yellow, orange, and purple. And now I'm going to take a few moments to get these cut out. Be right back. My 2 flowers and the fairy are all cut out and ready. I also pulled out my 3D foam adhesives, which I'll use to prop them up on the finished card. Putting these aside, I'm going to continue my work on the card. First, I'll stamp the sentiment. Again, I'll be using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I'm going to ink up that stamp really good. That sentiment is going to be going on the inside of the card. And rather than take the stamp right off, I'm going to hold it down a little bit to let the ink absorb into the paper. There. Perfect stamping. Now I'll put that aside and I'm going to start assembling the card. I'm starting with the base and I'm bringing in the patterned paper. If you're using a patterned decorative paper that has a side that has to go up, make sure before you glue it that it's going in the right direction. I'm using the Art Glitter Dries Clear adhesive with the micro tip. This is my favorite glue, my glue of choice. After I've secured that to the base, I'm going to take the other decorative piece and I'm going to glue that onto the orange piece that will become the front of the card. Lastly, I will put the sentiment into place. To prepare the notepad, I will take the 3 1/4 inch square piece, which will be the note base for the post-it notes. The yellow-orange side of the decorative paper I've scored will be the cover for the post-it notes. The scored 1/2 inch will be glued down, and if you bring the paper down around, you can crease it the height of the notepads, thereby making a perfect fit. Apply glue to the bottom of the post-it pad and affix it to the orange base. Bring it to the top edge and center the sides onto the orange base. Put glue onto the 1/2 inch of the decorative flap and glue that behind the orange base. This is not going to be attached to the card at this time, but rather it will be one of my last steps. Next is the calendar. The orange 2 3/4 inch by 3 1/2 inch piece is the base onto which I'll glue the metallic sheet, and finally the calendar will be centered on top of it. Next up is making a loop to hold the pen. Using the 1 1/2 by 4 inch strip, wrap it tightly around the pen you're going to use. In a link below the video, I listed an excellent pen I've just discovered that fits perfectly into this project. It's 4 1/2 inches, retractable, and it comes in 10 different colors, so you can coordinate away. Anyway, next, I'm going to glue the parts together that don't go around the pen. I'm adding a little more glue to make the loop a little bit tighter around the pen. It helps to remove the pen from the loop and hold the paper till the glue dries. And that will make the loop a little tighter so the pen won't slip through. Now I'm applying glue to the tab and I'll affix it to the back of the calendar. I'm purposely keeping it a little lower and not centering it. You decide, depending on the length of the pen you use, where to glue it so that the pen is centered onto the card. Finally, affix the calendar to the front of the card. Now, when the card opens, the front of the card, which will be this, is going to be propped up and held there by the post-it note. Looking at the back, the only part that will be glued is this rectangular part down here. When gluing the front of the card, make sure to line it up with the bottom part of the base. I saved the note holder for last. It will be glued into place, but be careful to place it close to the bottom of the inside of the card. If you place it too high up, the easel part will stand up too straight and will topple over. There should be a tilt to the easel part. Lastly, I'll decorate the front of the card with the lilium flowers using the 3D foam adhesive pads, and I'll glue the fairy Mia onto the note holder. Just adding a few little glittery effects. And there's my finished card, calendar, note holder, gift set. This would be the card opened, and there's the sentiment. And on the desk, it can be propped up, and each month the calendar sheet can be torn off as we keep up to date. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you're enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Please visit us at delbellosdesigns.com for most of your crafting needs. And please consider joining our 2 Facebook groups listed here.